Hello, welcome to the wrap-up video of the 5 last modules from 6 to 11. In this video, we will summarize the key points delivered in each module so as to help you remember everything more easily and also have an overview of this course. Module 7 centered on the integration of common knowledge and soft skills in a lesson. It has brought about some useful tips to complete the aforementioned objectives. First, regarding the integration of common knowledge, it is emphasized that teachers should find the cultural relevant knowledge to teach. In order to do so, the investigation of students' background is necessary. After this very first step, teachers can start seeking and adapting other knowledge and embed it into their lessons. This might include art, music, culture, literature, folk tales, and stories from other cultures. The second aspect to be integrated is the soft skills. 7 soft skills have been identified and chosen to be implemented in all institutions. They are communication skills, thinking skills, and problem-solving skills, teamwork, skills, lifelong learning, and information management, entrepreneur skills, ethics, morals, and professionalism, and leadership skills. By adding additional knowledge and skills beyond the language, the lesson will become more captivating and students will be the ones to be benefited from this. In Module 8, learners' differences, along with some recommendations to create a balance in a class with diverse characteristics and mixed level, have been presented. Particularly, it is stated that each individual in a classroom is different in terms of personality, intelligence, motivation, learning style, and level. Therefore, in order to help students learn more effectively, teachers should get to know his or her student better so that the teaching process can cater for everyone's needs and interests. For each aspect, the explanation of very basic concepts of theory and classification has been provided. For personality, we have introverted, extroverted, and ambiverted people. For motivation, there are intrinsic and extrinsic ones. For learning styles, there are 3 main types, including visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Yet, it is now debated that such theory does not exist. For intelligence, we get to know the theory of multiple intelligence, and finally, the student's language level is labeled using CEFR framework with 5 levels. They are A1 beginner, A2 elementary, B1 low intermediate, B2 intermediate, C1 advanced, and C2 proficiency. After having the knowledge and idea about these concepts, teachers are then recommended to create a classroom profile by observing or surveying the students. 2 free websites are suggested to identify the learner's personality and intelligences, which are 16personalities.com and literacynet.org. Next, some tips to deal with mixed ability class are given, and these include using different content and assigning appropriate tasks for individuals and groups. Specifically, the former suggests teachers using various sources of materials of the same topic that suit the learner's levels, while the latter refers to the flexibility in designing, assigning, assessing tasks for weaker and stronger learners. The ninth module focuses on guiding the teachers through the process of designing classroom activities based on available or self-designed materials. Teaching materials form an important part of most English teaching programs. English teachers usually teach their students by using available textbooks, videotapes, and pictures. In other words, teachers usually rely heavily on a diverse range of materials to support their teaching and their students' learning. However, despite the current rich array of English language teaching materials, such learning materials which are really suitable for each classroom use and the needs of the students are not always available. Therefore, many teachers continue to produce their own materials. Indeed, most teachers spend considerable time finding, selecting, evaluating, adapting, and making materials to use in their teaching. The conditions where there is a lack of appropriate materials should not discourage the teachers as far as they have the objectives of the teaching or are familiar with the needs of the students. By having the objectives of the teaching and learning or being familiar with the needs of the learners, the teachers can develop their own materials for the learners to achieve the objectives or to fulfill the needs of the learners. This module discusses some ideas on the division of different teaching phases as well as the types of learning activities in different phases that teachers make students do by way of materials. We also give a number of suggested analyses of designing classroom activities that teachers can use with their students in lessons. The suggested analyses of the activities deal with goals, input, procedures, outcome, teacher role, learner role, and organization. The idea is not only to help students understand the language they're exposed to, but also to enhance their learning experience and encourage them in their studies. The 10th module gives details related to the assessment of teaching. Lesson planning is at the heart of being an effective teacher. It is a creative process that allows us teachers to synthesize our understanding of second language acquisition and language teaching pedagogy with our learners' knowledge, the curriculum, and the teaching context. It is the time when we envision the learning we want to occur and analyze how all the pieces of learning experience and process should fit together to make that vision a classroom reality. A major concern of teaching English language for teachers has been assessing and evaluating their own lesson plans during students' course of study in particular and during students' learning time in general, as well as students' classroom achievements at the end of it. Despite the highly useful aspects of tests, such as multiple choice tests, essays, and paragraph readings, teachers may have not been really successful in their teaching situations and classroom scenarios. A teacher needs evidence to decide whether a lesson has gone well or not. He or she normally gathers evidence in informal ways as the activities proceed. For example, a teacher might observe what is happening. If students are throwing paper airlines, the teacher should conclude things are not going well. Unless such obvious things occur, like the one just mentioned, it is not necessarily simple to make a valid conclusion about things going well or not, because teachers' main focus is on implementing, not on assessing. For this reason, a developed lesson concludes with an assessment activity. The purpose is to assess teaching. To assess teaching, evidence must be gathered from students. There are many ways to do this. A small worksheet, an interview, a journal entry, and a problem to solve exercise are some of the possible sources of evidence that help determine if the teaching has gone well. If the assessment indicates successful teaching, then additional practice is needed to facilitate storage into long-term memory. Well-designed worksheets can be used for this purpose. In the last module, project-based lesson plan is the core issue to be discussed. Firstly, the differentiation of project as dessert and project as main course is presented. While the former refers to those designed to consolidate the lesson content and carried out after the knowledge presentation by teachers, the latter utilizes the projects as the classroom activities through which students will achieve knowledge and skills. Based on these two concepts, the projects provided in the textbooks of high school are all projects as dessert. However, since the criteria related to the projects as main course are so useful that it can be applied to improve the quality of projects in general. To be more specific, there are 8 main criteria. Number 1, specific objectives for knowledge and skills. Number 2, appropriate level of difficulty of the question or problem to solve, which leads to number 3 here, sustained inquiry. Number 4, authentic tasks related to real life. Number 5, chances to make some decision by students. Number 6, constant reflection of teachers and students. Number 7, constant feedback for students. And the last one, number 8, students' presentation of their final products in public. Secondly, lesson plan sample has also been provided with 8 main parts: performance objectives, driving question, assessment plan, assessment and reflection, map the product, resources, manage the process, project evaluation. Finally, problems related to the application of project-based lessons are mentioned, and this includes students and teachers' problems. While the learners encounter the difficulty in group work and unfamiliar student-centered approach, the teachers have to face the anxiety due to the new role as facilitator, along with new ways of assessing students. Some solutions have been proposed, and these include careful pilot of the project, clear guidance, ongoing support, inclusion of various types of assessment, and staff training. In a nutshell, this video has summarized the main points in the last 5 modules of the course. We hope that this is useful for you. Thank you for watching.